So today on a good old Natterwith, I have a great guest, Mr. Steve Bennett. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, self.
Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. So one of the first questions I like to ask my guests is, what was your first introduction to computers, games, arcades, that kind of thing?
My first experience on computers was a ZX Spectrum Plus. When I was a kid, I wanted basically a computer. I was very young at the age. Basically, I was going down to my granddad's that year. Open your presents as you do down at your house, and you're like, right, cried my eyes out because I didn't get what I wanted. And my parents went to me, there might be something left at your granddad's, something always goes everywhere. So went down to my granddad's that Christmas. There's one under the tree. Opened it up and I had my Spectrum. Played it solidly because we was down there for the week. And then shortly after that, I accidentally plugged the joystick into it while it was on. Blew it up. Couldn't tell my parents at the time.
Oh.
Said it had broken. I was like, oh my God, here we go. Went back home. My dad took it back to Dixon, said it was broken, something must be wrong with it. It's under guarantee still. And they said they didn't do that model anymore. They said that if my dad paid an extra 25 quid, they could get the grey +2.
Right.
And basically they'd throw in loads of softwares and apology, bits and pieces. So I was like, yeah, I want it, sort of thing. So he paid the extra £25. Got the Spectrum, brilliant. Got it home, started playing it. Then my mate across the road, Adam, he used to have the Spectrum rubber key as well. So we used to like swap games.
Yeah.
When we was growing up, which was great. The only problem is, as everyone knows, with the grey +2, you don't have a volume control on it. So I'd be going like buying a game down the shop, pocket money, great, wouldn't work. Take it over Adams, would work. Then take it back to the shop, get another copy. Eventually it would work. And then basically every game on and off would either work or wouldn't. And in the long run, it put me off computers, to be fair.
All right. Okay.
So basically, I shelved it. I didn't want to know. I didn't want computers, anything. Later on, basically, I still used to go around Adams. Like, didn't really want to play the computer. We didn't talk for a few years. Then my parents, one day when I was at senior school, they go, "Oh, we've been to the computer shop up the Access Road." It's like, "All right, that's really good." We've seen a C64 that you might like, for your schoolwork. No, don't want to do it. Don't want it. Not interested. I don't want a computer. Eventually, they persuaded me to go up there to have a look at it. I was like, they showed me it in the shop. The bloke showed me behind the counter. Look, you got to play this game. You play this game. No, don't want it. Don't want it. I just don't want this computer. It's put me off for life. Eventually, they persuaded me when I got home, and then I got the C64 C for that Christmas, and it was the Hollywood pack. And then that brought me back into gaming. So, but if it wasn't for that, I just wouldn't have been into computers after that. Then I went from the C64C, went down the Future Entertainment shows down Earls Court. Got the Amiga 500, which I wanted. Got the 512 memory upgrade, which is about £60. Then we went down to Tottenham Court Road, got the Action Replay Mark III. Kept going. Me and my mate with my dad, used to go to Earls Court every year. We went to see like all the latest software that was available. bits and pieces, which was brilliant. Remember getting the Team 17 mug off the display stands with the poster and everything, which was brilliant. Got out of the show. My mate had dropped his mug coming out because we had to rush to get the thingy. Going up the stairs and the train, so he was heartbroken. Managed to get mine home, and I smashed mine as well at the end of it. I was like, I've been looking ever since for this mug. I can't find it.
No.
Me and my mate have tried everywhere to find this mug. There don't seem to be any in existence anymore. So that's where we went. Then went on to the 1200 after that.
Nice.
Started doing like car boot sales, as they say, with the software bits and pieces. Then someone down the market that used to buy games off said, "Oh, why don't you go down to the Greenford Computer Club? You swap loads of software there." It's like, never heard of it then. But I was like me and my mate was like buying like CDs where you like get the Amiga Gold 1 to 5, I think it was, Amiga 96, Merciless as well, which had all the Amiga software, because I'd had the CD writer by then and the Blizzard 1230.
Wow.
Also been going down to like the Hammersmith show, the Nova Hotel for the Amiga. Remember seeing all the C64s like and the Plus 4s like for £10s, £5 because they couldn't get rid of them. Remember getting my Amiga socks down there as well.
Amiga socks.
Yeah, got the Amiga socks. I still got the Amiga socks somewhere.
Brilliant.
So I got that. Went down to computer club. I think it was Richard I contacted that used to go to Brunel University that introduced me, because that's who the contact was years ago. Went down there and it was like, right, okay. And I was just generally chatting to them like, oh, I've got these CDs and all that. And I didn't realise that they were going to the same bloke I was giving the stuff to. And then every week they would be getting a problem with the software. It doesn't work with this computer. It doesn't work with that computer. Me and my mate would be working out which computer, because he had the 600, I had the 1200, and also a 500 we had. And we'd be like, oh, right, you need to do this, you need to disable this, disable that. We didn't realise we was actually they were buying the discs off the bloke, and we were supplying the bloke for the Greenford Computer Club. It was like, wow, this is a small world.
Yeah.
Also used to go down to Springfield car boot sale, so with my pocket money. Used to go around there, buy bits and pieces. So I'd be buying like BBCs up, any like bits and pieces, because kids used to have to swap their computers in. So I'll be buying all the computers up. My mate would be buying like the games and bits and pieces between us. So I remember going down once in Amiga 1000 down there. Didn't have enough money in my pocket. That was only a tenner. Never picked that up. I was like, I was really gutted later on. Remember seeing a Neo Geo for £15 with loads of cartridges.
Oh, man. Really?
Never picked that up either. I was like, you're having a laugh here. I was like, oh, great. Here we go. Then we went down with one of our other mates that went down Springfield car boot sale, walking around. And we see this stands and we're like, right, okay. You never guess who it was? It was David Pleasant. He actually had a car boot sale stands. That's when Commodore folded, and he had all the bits and pieces. So one of my mates bought the Comic Relief, like you get in the offices, the actual like advertisement. He bought a trophy. I remember buying a C64C off him for £5, all wrapped in the cellophane. I've still got that stash still. So that's where I started, and then just kept going. Then I went on to the computer club, kept going every week, bits and pieces. I used to go down to like the PC fairs, bits and pieces with the club in the school. Then I started doing like basically building my first PC. I remember buying I think it's a 486 down someone off the club for 15 quid. Remember getting it home, formatting the drive, and they said, oh, and I didn't realise back then, because I'd never had a PC, so I was like, I'm getting really impatient because the Amiga's really quick with formatting the drive. So it's just, I thought, oh, it's frozen. So I switched it off, didn't I, before it finalised? Switched it back on. recognise the hard drive anymore. I was like, oh, right, here you go. So I dug it back out, put it in my Amiga. It worked perfect, but I couldn't get it to work. It destroyed one of the boot sectors on it. I was like, oh, here we go. So I just kept going. Through the years, basically, the members were a lot older than me. They went all their separate ways. Eventually, one of the treasurer moved. No, the actual person that ran it moved away because he lived near me. And then there was another gentleman that was the treasurer. His wife had passed away with pneumonia, and he had a son and that. And basically, he found himself a new girlfriend, bits and pieces, because he wanted something like, just in case he passed away. He eventually came down with a really bad disease. He could hardly breathe, bits and pieces. He was staying with his other half then in a caravan. So I went round there. He was on a ventilator, could hardly breathe. And he gave me the last £100 from the club fund. Done that, got that. And he was like, oh, take it over. I was like, all right, yeah, that's, I didn't want to, but I was like, felt really guilty. He basically was just going to get married. And the day before his marriage, he was going to have the operation. And he passed away the day before his thingy. He didn't actually get his operation. And then I got the club, and I was the last member standing, as they say. So I had to build it up. I used to go down there on my own with my other half every week, because it used to be weekly then. No members. Used to go down car boot sales. If I saw you, say, next to a computer, I'd be like, oh, you had the Greenford Computer Club. Oh, you must come down. You must come down. Like, this is great. There's loads of people down there. Lying through my teeth, trying to get people to go down there. I was like, right, okay. Got a few people started. Like, I got this church lady. She just wanted me to show her how to download the hymns onto a PC. She wasn't really into computers, but I was desperate. I was like that. Kept going. I eventually started to get members. And then eventually, as we were starting to build the numbers up, which was roughly about 2018, I think it was 2017. Basically, I said to some of the members, I said, oh, how about if we do a show? I was like, right, okay. And I said, look, we got enough stuff. There's the rooms next to us. We can hire the hall out like that. I said, oh, I want to do an Amiga show. We're doing an Amiga show. That's, that's what I want to do, like this. And they was like, all right, we'll go with it. So one of the members come up with the name Retcon, which was, that was fine. So we had our idea, right? Me and my mate went down to see, I think it was the Commodore Story down the Genesis Cinema with Steve Fletcher. Because we'd done a Kickstarter where you backed it and then you go and see the film. Right, okay. Went out to see the film. Brilliant, met a few people. And I saw David there, Trevor Dickinson. And I was like, right, okay. I go to my mate. I'm going to tell him about it. Let's see if I can get him there. So I kept going. Right, I was just chatting. I was just saying, oh, we've got like hundreds of people coming down. It's going to be big this year. You need to come like this. So I was like, right, okay. So I persuaded him to come. I persuaded David to come. Persuaded Trevor to come, and Steve Fletcher. I was like, right, okay. Nothing. One of my mates, Mark, he was ironing the t-shirts the night before Retcon with all the logos, because we used to have like very first one, you'll see like a white t-shirt with a very big logo on it. Right. So he was up all night ironing them. So that was a nightmare, trying to get them central, and it was printing them off bits and pieces. And we it looked like we knew what we were doing, but we didn't. Borrowed some speakers from work. So we had like a PA system. So I was like, right, okay, we've got it all together. Got the banner done at work, bits and pieces. I thought, brilliant. This is, it looks really professional. So for some strange reason, I don't know how it happened, Google Maps, what they'd done is they'd managed to take a picture at the same time we'd put the banner up of the centre. So I was like, right, okay.
Oh, okay.
So Steve Fletcher comes down and he goes, "Oh, blimey, now I saw you. I saw it on Google Maps because I've not been here before. I can't believe you got the panel on it." And I was like, "Oh yeah. No, you know, we've gone far out. We've literally done every stop we can like this to get it working." And he like we're looking all professional. We've got all our t-shirts, bits and pieces like the day before, and bits and pieces. We set it up. It's only like a very, like, as you've seen if you've come down, it was literally just that hall, no gazebo. It was just that. We had the talks in the right hand corner. Stephen Fletcher was on the left hand side, and then we had our computers basically at the bit. And I think we had about 50 people there. And on the morning before everyone come in, Stephen Fletcher goes, he said, "I've got a little bit of a guilty conscience here." And I go, "All right then." He said, he leant into me and he goes, "I didn't want to say this, but this is my first event that I've ever done."
Okay.
I was like, "All right." I said, "Well, truthfully, if you want to hear something that's guilty, this is the first one I've ever done, if that makes you feel any better." And he was like, "Wow." And I was like, "Right, okay." So we got the day out, brilliant day. We had, you know, as I say, 50 people turn up, which was quite good because we really didn't know how it was going to pan out. At the end of it, at the talk, I made the vital mistake and I went to the punters, "Oh, you know, like, how about I ask you questions? Shall we do it another year?" Like that. And they all shouted yes. And I was like, "Oh no, now I've got to do it next year." So we've done it next year. So we basically got on to doing, I can't remember if it was the hall and maybe the computer room at the same time we hired out. So we got slightly bigger, more people. This year, that year, I started to get a little bit more. I thought, right, we're not doing the t-shirts because we picked up a couple of members on the way for the club as well. I'm not doing the t-shirts again. I'll find someone else that can do it. So we got all the printed logos on them, bits and pieces, things like that. Right. So got them all printed up. So we looked a little bit more professional. We got a few more people down. Right. So it was like, right, it's getting bigger. It's getting a little bit more active. And then I thought, right, shall we do another one? And then we kept going. So we've had people like Dan Wood down there. We've had Ravi down there. We've had Andy Merrick down there. So that was basically it. Then when we got to lockdown, which was quite interesting. So we was gonna do one before the lockdown. And then basically everyone, I got all the leaflets printed up, went along to the London Gaming Market, was handing them out as people was going in as well. We managed to get them in before the event opened, and people kept leaving them in the actual centre. And they were going to us like one of the women behind the counter that was taking the money, because we'd gone in, taking the money. She was going to the security guard, "Where these come from? They're not supposed to be here." And we're like, you know, sort of walking around, listening to it. It's quite funny. And then lockdown came. It's like, oh, great, here we go. So what are we going to do? So pitched it because, like, basically we don't do any refunds on the tickets. We just do it so that we can pay for the room.
Yeah.
So emailed everyone to see whether they wanted a refund. We'll still do it, but we'll keep going. So emailed everyone and they were like, no. You know, we understand. Keep the money. You know, we'll do another. When you get the next one, we'll come along still. Right. So rearranged it again. I think we rearranged it 4 times before, and then lockdown finished. And we were the first gaming event that opened just after lockdown. So that was a whole new experience. So we had to get hand sanitizer. We had to get the signs for the floor.
Yeah.
We had to get like gloves for everyone. As I say, we had like a massive turnout that year because it was like everyone wanted to get out. It was like it was amazing. It was like, but at the same time, it was like, how did we do this? So we just kept going with it. And to be fair, I think we had about 90 people that year, and it was amazing just after lockdown, considering we were the first ones open. Obviously we'd got bigger we started to do like upstairs as well, where we decided to do the talks because we'd had them. You might remember Mike and Janie, which used to be Twitch streamers that done like a Twitch feed over lockdown as well. They were advertising us. They came down to it. We had like that's when we had the talks out in the gazebo outside. So I was doing that. So we were slowly getting better and bigger, as they say. Kept going. Basically, I've had like reviews in magazines from Faith Johnson as well. She came down. She's done a couple of reviews for us. We've had a little snippet in Retro Gamer as well for 23 when we came last year, saying that this is coming up like that. We've had like the Oliver twins there as well. And we kept getting bigger and bigger. And it was like, well, every year, all we do is we do it for the people. We don't do it. We do it to show what we can do. But technically, all it is really is our family or the computer club members, though we change our uniform to look slightly different. So if you see us in the club, in the pictures, you wouldn't recognise it necessarily was us onto Retcon. But technically, it is the computer club. So we keep going. Yeah, now we're getting to this year. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Okay, that's fantastic. So you mentioned about the computer club. Is that a weekly thing? Is that still going on?
Right. So the club's been going obviously pre-me. So it's been going over 25 years plus. I wasn't the one that started it. It started off as an Amiga club originally. It's been Amiga format. If you look through the ads in the 90s, you'll notice that it's actually advertised in there as like the clubs and bits and pieces.
Oh, is it really?
We've never closed the doors. Obviously, we closed over lockdown, but we kept doing like basically like a what you call it, Skype calls and bits and pieces. Not obviously go out the door, but like it's keeping us a lot sane basically.
Yeah.
When I first started, it used to be weekly. It started off to be the club room that we've got now. Then basically we got moved to the front of the building because the room that the club room was, it's very old building, and all the joists had rotted away and the floor fell in.
Oh, blimey.
So we got transferred to the front. We used to have a massive metal, like old school cupboard that we used to have all our computers in, bits and pieces from the club. Then eventually we obviously changed back again later on. And then when I sort of took it over, I started it off as weekly and then realised that I couldn't afford it any longer because it's coming out of my own pocket. I was like, right, okay, so we'll change it to 2 weekly. So it's every 2 weeks. Kept going. And basically it's just amazing how long once it's been there. I think we're one of the longest running clubs in London still. There's very few. I know there's a few that set up recently, or they've still got the same name and they've sort of like had a massive long period of closure, then they've reopened. But we've always been there, never closed. It's been hard over the years, I must admit.
Yeah. Imagine.
Yeah, so it's quite hard. It's amazing when people come to the centre, they can't believe that there's a computer club there, because it's a bit like we put up posters, bits and pieces, but it's like some people miss it. Some people don't realise what the centre does, because it used to be owned by the council. It's run by Age Concern now. So they wanted to close. The council did want to close it and they wanted to knock it down. I don't know why. There's also the Royal Legion next door as well, that they wanted to knock that down at one stage because they were in trouble as well. So I think they wanted to do both at the same time and then sort of make it into like maybe a massive shop maybe, or housing or something like that.
Definitely be housing.
Yeah, because there used to be a pub. If you go further along, which is like an old people's home now, that used to be a pub years ago, and I used to go drinking in there as well. So that's now. So I know Greenford fairly well, not overly well, but yeah. So that's where it stems from. But yeah, as I say, we don't advertise. we do and we don't, if you know what I mean. I do like Facebook bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Me and my mate do a YouTube channel, but it's very, very few and far between videos that we actually do. Only because basically we're always together, so we always go to the shows, bits and pieces. So we're trying to do bits and things, so like that.
Yeah.
So that's where our Retcon bits is. Though it's on Amiga Lads, that's because that's me and my mate, and technically it's like, yeah, use that YouTube channel, see if we can boost it a little bit more.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about your Amiga Lads group. You got quite a few members.
You could say that. The reason that we set it up is basically because me and my best mate, as we were kids, we've grown up. We lost in touch for ages because we had slight disagreement when we was kids,
As
which,
you do.
which you do.
Do you have an Amstrad? Because you had your Spectrum.
No, it's because I had my C64, and then with my mate, I had a slight row with him, bits and pieces. Because I used to like taking bits and pieces apart. I've always liked taking things apart.
Yeah.
And we had disagreement because technically I took something apart. He sort of like done what he done to it, and then it was like, yeah, whatever. I'm not talking to you anymore, sort of thing, as you do.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get to know my mate. Technically, I'd had my Amiga 500 by then, and I remember going up there into the computer shop. I saw him up there, and I just basically said, "Oh, have you got an Amiga?" And then ever since, like, we started talking since then. So like swapping the games and bits and pieces. So basically, everywhere we've been to Play Manchester. Obviously, we done when we was kids. We done the Play Expos. We done the Hammersmith shows. That's when we was kids. That's before we fell out. Then after we started doing like Play Expo, went to the first Play Expo in Manchester, and I think that's where it stemmed, where I started to get the idea of where, oh, we can do an event. Surely we can do an event. It's possible.
Right.
And then basically kept going. We went there every year. We used to, when I first started doing Play Expo, I used to drive down there all the way because I'm Heathrow way. So I used to go all the way, drive on the Friday night down to Manchester, stay the Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, drive the Sunday back all the way back home. And then basically after that, the next year, I decided to have the Friday off. Then we went down during the day, went round all like the charity shops, as you do, looking around all the parts of Manchester, trying to find the bargains, then go to show, then do that bits and pieces. Been to the crash events. Done those as well. Yeah, been quite a few places. People know us, as in like we've been about as such. I remember very first meeting Faith Johnson down there. I believe that was before she actually became a journalist, actually at Play Expo. And I remember seeing them near Andy Spencer's stall with the Leicestershire Museum. I remember seeing them because me and my mate always used to go down there, and they used to have like their selection of games. And we used to spend like 30, 40 quid on their stall, buying all like Spectrum games. And me and my mate, we collect. We don't buy it because one, to sort of, oh, that's £1. It's a tenner in the shop. We'll go buy that to sell it on. We don't sell. We collect.
Yeah.
My mate's got loads of stuff. I've got loads of stuff. People keep saying to us, "Why don't you sell? Why don't you sell?" I'm like, no. I like collecting. I want to keep it.
Yeah.
Eventually, it might come to that point, but it hasn't yet. Same as my mate. I still live at home at the moment, though I'm doing my place up. So I'm waiting for doing that because I'm going to be converting all the loft. So half the loft with my other half it's been agreed that half the loft I get, and I can put all my retro computers up there.
Yeah.
So I've got stuff like BBC Micros, BBC Masters, Ataris, Amigas, Commodore 64, Spectrums. I've got a C64SX. I've got Ataris. I've got a few rarities out there as well. So yeah, it's the same for my mate. He's basically collected over the years. So we got a hell of a lot between us as such.
Yeah. Going back to Retcon, obviously that's on this year with the banner behind you, 15th of June. So let's hear all about Retcon this year.
Right. So Retcon's on the 15th, as you said. We like to do it so that we give it just before Father's Day. So you could say it's a clever marketing ploy, or you could say it's our stupidity, whichever way you look at it. The reason why we do it that way is because if you're a new kid growing up, right, for argument's sake, your dad possibly will like or remember, not necessarily like, but remember their old computer, right? So the kid technically likes computers, as all kids do nowadays, which is newer technology, obviously. Some kids like the retro bits and pieces.
Yep.
So we gauge it in such a way that basically you can buy your dad a ticket for Retcon, right, as a Father's Day present. You can buy a ticket because that's where you want to go. Because I was always told at an early age that you buy something. If you want something to give to your dad, you always buy something you want. So when he doesn't want it, you can have it.
I like your thinking.
So you as the kid buys your dad the present. Yeah. Obviously, you can take your mum along as well, your brothers, your sisters, etc. You have a great day. Even if your dad doesn't have a great day, you've had the great day. But basically, throughout all the years that we've been doing it, everyone that's come down, we've had like babies in arms, all the way up to like 72, 80-year-olds down there.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone that's come down to it has always, like we had, I think it was last year, or might have been the year before, last year, I think it was actually, we had a family come down there and the wife come in. The husband obviously wanted to go, and I think it was a daughter with him, and he dragged them along saying it's a family day out, right? And my other half with her mate runs the door, and she went into my other half. She goes, "Oh, I don't want to come. I hate it. These sort of things. It's not my idea of a place, right?" And my other half was walking around later, and she actually caught her playing the systems, and she was enjoying herself. And then she come up later on to my other half at the gate, at the door again. She goes, "Oh, it's a brilliant day out. You know, there's a picnic area. I didn't realise it would be like this. It doesn't feel like we're at an event. Everyone's so friendly. It feels like, you know, I can't believe that, you know, I didn't want to go." And that's really what we're trying to portray. It's like we're trying to make it a family atmosphere, get people involved. This year we've got, as same as last year, we've got sign language interpreter as well. So we're trying to cater for everyone. So if you wanted to, say for argument's sake, you're deaf, you come up to the talk or downstairs. One of the members is a sign language interpreter by, like, that's what he does as a job. So he can help you out. If you insist that you want him to do the talks, so he can interpret the talks for you while he's there as well. So it's like we're trying to get everyone involved, from young to old. We don't mind if you're like baby in arms and you want to have a look at the first Atari that's set up, to the 80-year-old that wants to relive their youth and go, "Oh yeah, I remember them when I was growing up. That's a great computer," or the NES or the Amiga and bits and pieces. We do it so that we've got more systems, because obviously when we first started, we was going to do it as an Amiga show, but we later learned that if you concentrate on one system, it's very hard because it's only a niche market.
Yeah,
and the
100%.
fact that the other factor is you can't cater for a family, because you might like the Amiga, your wife hates it, your daughter hates it, your son hates it, and it's like, right, great, okay, so you're not technically wanting to drag them along. So that's why we try and cater for everyone. I know we only have like a little snack bar. The reason being is because we try and spread the love around Greenford to try and help people.
Yeah.
So you've got like the pub on the roundabout, which we always tell them to like prepare and bits and pieces. Whether they listen to us is a different matter. to try and get it so that they can have like meals and bits and pieces. They can boost a bit of trade. The Royal Legion next door, they do cheap alcohol. So we try and do them because they've asked us in the past or this year as well, you know, we'd like to have you because, you know, you bring in everyone to try and help us out at the same time. And we're like, well, you know, it depends on what the centre can do for us. This is our home, but we're open to suggestions to get bigger. But as I say, we have got bigger. We eventually, when I started out, we started with one hall and we just kept going and kept going. So we wanted to make it bigger and bigger. And we're slowly running out of rooms in the centre year by year, which is quite funny. But when I said to the people that run it now, I did say to him, I said, I want to make it like Else Court. I'm going to rent this whole building out eventually. I'm getting very close to it. But as I say, it's very unique. It's got a lot of nooks and crannies to it. So you don't realise, people go into the hall and you think, oh, that's it. You know, I've only done 2 computers. You know, that's all the event is. But if you keep looking, we've got like signposts, you've got the gazebo outside, you've got the traders down at the ends, then you've got like a little magical corridor where we put all the posters up. You've got our computer room, which is technically our computer club. So we set all that up. Then you go a little bit further along. We have last year we're still working on it. The idea is where we have a TV from downstairs to upstairs, where you can go upstairs to see the talks live. But if you can't make it because you're obviously elderly or in a wheelchair, because we got wheel access either way, so you can get, if you want to get access to the back, we have to wheel you around the front because we've got a ramp around the front to get you in. If you want to go in the back, we can wheel you around that way. But obviously, we haven't got a lift. That's the only problem we haven't got. So if you're in a wheelchair, you can't get upstairs, or if you can't walk, you can't get upstairs. So what we usually do is we have a TV downstairs. We film the talks upstairs on live. We stream it downstairs at the same time, so you can watch it live as they're saying it upstairs. We also record it so we can later edit it for the YouTube channel. We also record the audio separate that goes into the mics, so we can edit, depends on which way is the better talk, so we can edit that back in. So you've got that. This year, we've also got an extra room, which last year was the Oliver Twins working area for their game. So we've got an extra room, where they were this last year, but we've got that this year. So we're doing we're hoping to do like a BBC like school era. So we've been working. So we're working on a network at the moment. We probably have like 5 BBCs in total. So we have all them networks. We're hoping to have the real way of doing it, where you have the major server run by the BBC, and then the 4 obviously basically connected to it. We got that. We got other bits and pieces there. So yeah, that's where we're at. We got a few guests. If you want to know the guests,
yeah, let's hear about the guests this year. Yeah,
right. So we have got David Pleasant, very good friends. We got Trevor Dickinson, Matthew Leamington, I think it is, which is Amiga Kit. So we've got them down as well this year. We got Stephen Fletcher, which is Waver Studios. We got Colin Porch.
Colin's
yeah, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he's not 100% sure, but he's worked out that he can release his game now, because he's finally found out who owns the characters. So we're hoping that we may have that. We don't know, so we might be able to get that out finally. We've seen it every year, but we just haven't had a chance. The Head Over Heels.
Oh, okay.
So he was making a Head Over Heels 2, which I think is going on the PC. I'm not sure about the other consoles, but I know it's going onto the PC, which he's hoping to get out. So we got that. We've got a Jason Whiteley as well.
Jason Whiteley?
Yeah. He used to be in the Amiga magazines. He's a musician.
Right.
So he's done stuff for Desert Strike. He done the music for that in the Amiga.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
He done Road Rash as well, the music for that.
Wow.
So we got him. We got Kevin Toms. He's flying all the way over from Portugal for us to do a talk as well. We've obviously got the Oliver twins as well. They've got quite a long talk. I think it's an hour, 90 minutes, an hour and a half, I believe, off the top of my head. So they're going for all like from start to finish. So they really know how to hold a crowd. They're very entertaining, very funny as well. So yeah, we got a few. We got some. We got Mike Nuerty as well, which is Mike Retro Tech. So you might have seen like the Commodore Pets, where he's made the metal case and he's put a PC in it.
Yes, I was looking at those last year. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got that. He's got a new book come out as well. So he's be bringing that as well. So that should be available. Obviously, we've got David Pleasant with his tracksuits, his new books, bits and pieces. Oh, we've got the Dizzy Yo Folk website coming down as well.
Right. Okay.
So they've got all their merchandise, as in stuff that you won't see. So, you know, like you might have seen the clock, but you've never owned one, so you can have a look at it. You know, like the bag that you used to be able to get from Codemasters. They've got the bags. They'll be bringing that down. They've also got bits and pieces for sale, I believe, fridge magnets. I believe they've got a rare set of the Codemasters cards as well. So, you know, like you used to be able to get the little Codemaster codes like the Dizzy, Dora, Wizard Dora, I think it was something like that. So there was, I think it's 6 or something like that. So they've got a rare set for sale down there.
Wow.
So that's
nothing about those.
Yeah. So they've got them for sale. They've got the posters for sale. We also got a few copies at the front desk of our game that's made for us, which is Retcon Ghostly Capers.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I got a copy of that. Yeah.
Yeah. That was made by us, by Lee Chops.
That's it. Yeah.
So
lovely guy.
Yeah, very nice guy.
Yeah.
I basically asked him, I think that was down the Retro Leicester Museum as well. I said to him and asked him, see whether he could make us a game. He agreed with it. So I was like, well, okay. Kept going. Like he said, oh, well, what would you like? I like this idea. Didn't quite work out the idea that we were pitching because I wanted it sort of like a Dizzy game because I love Dizzy. That's my pet favorite.
Oh, was it really? Okay.
So I wanted it like, technically I wanted it like a Dizzy game. So we're going to have all the members as in where, you know, like you have like a computer. You get like you do around Dizzy, you're the main character. You go around, you get your computer, then you need your lead, then you need this and this. And Lee basically said, it's a good idea, but it's too close. I can't do it. So he come up with a different idea. It worked out a really good game. It was unbelievable. Got them all printed up, all the cassettes. I remember sitting like 2 weeks before it, taping them, then checking them, then taping them, then checking them. I took ages on that. So I got a few of them. I'm not sure whether to do the hats again this year because we had baseball caps as well. Got made up.
Right, I can't remember those.
Yeah, they were quite. We only had 6. They were very limited. They were.
So I certainly wouldn't mind a t-shirt.
Yeah. See, everyone says that, but we don't know about the t-shirts. When we had the first Oliver twins down, we had a guy. We had to actually look twice, and he'd obviously got our logos off the website. I was in the Facebook page, and he put all like Dizzy bits and pieces over it, and put all logos on it. And we had to look twice. We're thinking we didn't do a t-shirt like that. And he got it done, and he got it signed by the Oliver twins and everything.
Gotcha.
So that was quite amazing. We didn't even think of that, what people could do. Usually the t-shirts are only usually for like the members that help out. That's how so it's sort of like keeping it so that if you turned up with a grey t-shirt, everyone would come up to you and go, oh, how do you use this computer? Oh, no, I'm just come here for the day. That's why we try and keep it. We're not sure on the t-shirt aspect.
I've got you.
It's just sort of, I know where you're going. Everyone asks us, we've had a few people come up to, oh, can we buy the t-shirt? No, it's not for sale.
It's more of a souvenir, isn't it, of the event? And you know, it's good. I always say it's good free advertising, isn't it? So
yeah. it's just one of those. It's like, where would you go with it? Because the logo that we got is screen printed, you see, so it's not sewn on, it's not ironed on, so it'll last for quite a while. It's like a professional like version of it.
Oh, okay.
It's not like you normally, like the first year we're resigning it, cut the washes and it'll come off. It'll literally, it stays there for life, sort of thing. So it's my t-shirt's been through quite a lot through the washes, bits and pieces. So obviously we've had new members where I've had to get new ones made up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got t-shirts. It's just, if I was to do it, I wouldn't do it in that colour on purpose. So you could say that, like if I'd done, say, for argument's sake, green, for argument's sake, that would be your colour, but everyone else would be grey. So you could distinguish which one was which.
Yeah. That's
So,
fair enough.
It's just thing. We'll have our Retcon. Do you remember the key rings we had last year?
Yes, I got one of those on my bag. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, we have a sponsor, which is Monster Joysticks as well. That's one of our members. Very nice guy. He actually makes all the joysticks by hand with Samwar parts, all original, all his own designs.
Nice. Yeah.
You can pre-order down the show as well. He's always down there looking around. Obviously, we'd have to point you out to him because you wouldn't twig that it was him, or you wouldn't know which one it was amongst us unless you've ever met him.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Yeah.
So you'll see some of the joysticks on display, and people ask, and and we point him out, and he'll get you one ordered. He can do it into any color, so you can get different color buttons, you can get different color tops on the joysticks. He's done Vectrix joysticks. He's done adapters as well. So you go from like 9-pin to USB, so you can use them on your retro consoles.
Oh, okay.
See, he's really amazing. He even built so when he first started, he used to go to a company where he used to get all the acrylic cut. And then he decided to build the laser machine himself. I believe he's got like a shed sort of like an office at the back. He designed all that himself. And then basically I said last year, can you, like with the scrap bits, can you just do a couple of Retcon like bits and pieces? And he goes, yeah. So he made them all out of all the scraps. So technically they're all the joysticks, that the bits that get left over from all the tops.
Oh, that's brilliant though. I like that. That's good.
So yeah. Which you wouldn't probably notice, but if you marry them up to the joysticks, you'll see that you'll probably go, hang on a minute, I've got one of them. That's the colour of the joystick top. Yeah, that's how it's done. So yeah, it's bits he can't reuse basically.
Yeah, but that ties in well with the whole retro theme, though, doesn't it? That's good. That is. Yeah,
as I say, we try and keep it so that we are like a family. So you come in, we want you to be part of the family. We don't see you as a punter coming through the door. We don't sort of go, right, well, you're just here to look at a retro bit of computer. We'll go have a drink. We'll sit outside. You can play with whatever you want. We want to talk to you. We want to interact with you. We want to basically share our interest, and you share your interest with us. And we've picked up, as I say, we've picked up members for the computer club. People have come down there. They didn't realise that it was there. It's the same building, but they don't realise. We've had a family come down that are into Dizzy. I remember them coming down, and they come up to me, and I believe it's the son and the parents, I think. And they come up to us, and they're like, "How did you get the Oliver twins down there?" It's like, I just asked them.
Yeah.
I didn't, sort of like, I just gave them an email, asked them to come, and they said, "Oh no, we'd love to. It's really, we like this sort of things. We haven't done one for years." And it's like, right, okay. And then we've had them down a few times, and the son and the parents have always come down. They always come down, and they're like, "Oh, it's really good. I can't believe it." And I remember last year they got the Dizzy record signed by them as well. And like, we have like little bits of posters, like I printed off like the Dizzy maps, and like you'll notice that there was like the computers, because some of them are like Paul Kitchener's work, because that's who originally designed our logo for us. So he's been kind enough to let us have like some of the designs and bits and pieces so we can print them off. So I get them printed, put onto Foamex, and then put them around the building to make it look a little bit like it's not just like a community centre. It's like some sort of like home to everyone. So it's like your bedroom maybe, / you could be in a museum where you see a bit of art maybe. So they came up to us and they said, "Oh, I see you got the Disney map. You got the Disney map." I was like, "Yeah." So and they wanted to buy the map off us. I was like, "Right, just wait round to the end."
Okay.
And, wait round to the end, and I was like, "Right, okay." And they come back to me and they go, "Oh, we're still here." It's like, "All right, everyone's gone. There you go. You can have the map. That's fine."
Wow.
And they were really grateful. And straight away, as soon as they got it, it was like straight over to the Olive Twins. "Oh, please sign, please sign."
Yeah.
It's like it's just so nice to see people wanting to come down, have a good time. And as I've said in the reviews that Faith Johnson's done, the show's not me, it's everyone. It's all my members, it's all like my partner, their friends. In the cafeteria, it's my supervisor from work is one of them. The other gentleman that does all my designs for like the posts and things like that, which is Mark White. That's his dad that's in the cafe as well.
Oh, okay.
So he comes down. So it's as I say, it's like a family. It's not. We want to embrace the fact that it's for everyone. Don't feel left out just because you've got, you've come from Mars all the way over from Mars down to us. We want you to come in. We want you to feel welcome. We want you to come out the show and go, "I can't believe it. It was a family day out. It's very reasonable. We had a great time. I can't believe I saw my childhood memories there. I can't believe they had that there. They've been really helpful. I didn't realise that you could do this with this system. I didn't realise you could get that joystick from there." We had a great picnic out the front because there's like a little picnic area. There's little swings outside. So it's like going to the park for the little ones as such. Because, like little kids, they come in, they spend like half hour and then they go back out and they think, "Oh, I'm bored. Then they go swings and then they can come back in again.
Yeah,
we put stamps on everyone on the hands as well. So you can come and go. So you don't have to, you can do 10 minutes, walk up to the pub, couple of hours in there, come back, and then you come back in. So as I say, it's for everyone. It's not it's not me, it's everyone's, as they say.
Yeah. I mean, I had a fantastic day out there last year. It was brilliant, really was. And like you say, you're after that family feel, and that's exactly what I got. It was really welcoming, and I took my son down there, and I met up with one of the Gaming Face Punch podcasters down there. He had a good time. He ended up having it was his game, his idea that the Oliver twins ended up making his game on the event. So that was quite funny.
Yeah, that they cursed that because basically how it was supposed to come out, what they were going to do is they was going to steer the audience to make a Dizzy game.
Okay.
They already planned
Yeah.
for an idea, but it didn't pan out. That was the problem. I've still actually got, the idea sheet where you all wrote on, where they wrote on.
Yeah.
I've actually still got that in the loft where they all wrote, because everything that comes out of Retcon goes back into my loft and I keep it. So I've got documentation of all like little posters, trinkets that have come along the way, the leaflets we give out. If you noticed last year, when you got the leaflet, there was the clone licenses for the Amiga and the C64.
Okay.
Which is about £40. So you pay your fees to come in, which is £7 plus fees this year.
Yeah.
But I've asked him again. He said he will send them to me. So hopefully, because he has been down all the way from Germany. I think he lives. which is
Right.
Mike Lambert, his name is.
Yeah.
He's come all the way from Germany before. He's not sure if he can make it this year, but he said he would send me some of the licenses. So what we do is we put them in the pamphlets. So I know people don't read them when they're there. They just put them in the bag. I know what everyone does. It's the same as every show you go there. You're not interested in the leaflet. You're interested in going to have a look around. So when
you look at your goodies when you get home later.
Yeah, you get home. You like, oh look, I got that T-shirt. Yeah, I got that hat. I got that key ring. I got this. I picked up that book. I done this. And then they look at the leaflet, and they're like, hang on a minute. That's a £40 license. You got the Amiga license for the PC, fully licensed, and you've got the C64 license as well. And it's like, to be fair, you're getting so much for your money. Do you know what I mean? You only have to buy your ticket to come in, and straight away you've got £40 worth of straight in your bank, basically.
Yeah, that's absolutely
you walk away.
fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know about that. So I need to have a look at my pamphlet from last year now.
Because when he does it. I think it's 30 days after the show.
Yeah.
So when the license runs out, you have to claim it within 30 days.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Wow. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. No, that's brilliant. Really is brilliant. So when you're not organising these events, what do you do as a day job? Is it revolve around computers?
No. Well, my job at the moment, I've been there since 2009.
Yeah.
I work at Pinewood Studios.
Oh wow. Okay.
So when I first started, Pinewood Studios actually owned the stores. So basically what I do is I supply all the materials to the films. So like green screen paint, gaffer tape, paint, screws, nails, bits and pieces. The first film that was there was Prince of Persia when I first started. Obviously I'm into games.
Yeah.
But so that was my first like big film that was there. I remember seeing the palm trees going across on the big scaffolding poles with all they're made of is like polystyrene, and they imported all the leaves and they put them on top of it as well. So done that. Been there ever since. Though the studio started to sell bits and pieces off, which was a great shame. So they paid us across. So you might know them, which is Jewson's.
Oh right, yeah, Jewson's, yeah, the Jewson lot, yeah.
Which is the building merchant.
Yeah.
But they wanted, so basically they bought the contract for Shepperton and Pinewood, and they also brought the wood mill in to Pinewood as well. So we now still work for them, but in the studio. The only difference is if you ask me like for bricks, bits and pieces, that's not us. I couldn't tell you anything on the outside world of Jason's.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
If you want to ask me stuff about films, bits and pieces, that's great.
Yeah.
If you want to ask me anything that goes with something, or an idea of how to make something, or how you do this, how you do that, great. Ask me to buy a bag of cement. I ain't got a clue. Don't do cement. Don't do bricks.
That's fair enough. That's a different kettle of fish altogether, isn't it? That.
Yeah.
Oh, great stuff! Great stuff. So have you got any personal projects on the go at the moment, like to do with electronics or your computers?
I've got a few.
Okay.
I picked up a Sam Coupe recently. So I drove all the way to, where was it? It was,
because they're worth some money now, aren't they? Them Sam Coupes.
Yeah, that was donated to us. That was, I'm trying to think where I went. I think it was Dover. I'm sure it was Dover. I went all the way to Dover to go get it. The lady wanted to donate it. She wanted to see it go to a good home. So I was like, right, okay, we'll go to good home because the computer club can use it. I'll look after it. Quite a sad story, really. Her son passed away of cancer.
Yeah.
And he told her not to give it away. It was worth a lot of money. So I was like, right, okay. She kept hold of it because he died of, I think it's pancreatic cancer.
Oh,
Right,
right.
she's
Okay.
obviously hung on to it for quite a few years, I believe. And sadly enough, she's now on stage 4 cancer.
Oh,
So she wanted it to go to a good home. People were offering her money for it, bits and pieces. And I was like, right, I was on the Sam Coope group, and I basically said, oh, Greenford Computer Club would like it. It's great little projects. We enjoy that sort of things. Didn't think anything of it. And a few people that have been down to the show, because you might know that we've had like the Sam Coopes, because we have a big following on the Sam Coope bit as well. Because we're one, if you've noticed, that we've had quite a few Sam Coopes compared to like other shows I've been to, quite a following. A few people that come down to the show have like said, oh, that's a great shout, you'll look after it. And she messaged us out of the blue and she goes, it's a long way. And I was like, I don't mind traveling, I'll pick it up. Went all the way down there. Gentleman met me in a hotel / like bar. Said, oh, you Steve? It's like, yeah. She goes, oh, here you go. This is the computer the lady wanted you to have. It's like, all right. And then he told me about her having cancer and all that. So basically, every so often you might notice that if you're on the Sam group, I post like a few update pictures and bits and pieces, which I'm working on it. Had a few issues with it where it wouldn't sync on the SCART lead. Later on discovered, because one of the other members has a Sam Coope. It's been there for quite a while. He discovered that it didn't have all the pins on it. They'd cut out some of the pins on the back. So I have done it, but I haven't done the update on the web, on like the Sam group. But I've actually cut out like the pins. I've taken it all out, desoldered it. I cleaned off all the flux on the back, put the SCART socket back on. Tested it this Thursday just gone at the club, and it's actually working now. So that's a great sign. So that's working. I've got bits and pieces like the drive bay that got someone messaged me, which I've got to thank, but I'm doing it slowly. So I'm doing the update as the build goes along. That donated the little flap to go with it. I had the Leicester Museum donate the flash cassette. So I didn't have the original cassette with it, so they donated it to us because I know Andy quite well as well. So
he's a lovely bloke.
Yeah, very nice bloke. So he sent me the tapes. I've got that. So I've got the disk drive. I've been collecting the caps. Wayne Robbins said that he offered to recap it if I bring it down to him. So I've got to do that. So technically, I have used it because I've tried a disk drive in it because one of the other members has got one. I've also got the Atom Light for it as well, which is another person that I know quite well. He gave me the Atom Light and the compact flash, so we're working on that as well. So yeah, I recently, as I always like buying things, I don't believe in paying top dollar for stuff. I think, to be fair, like say for argument's sake, a Spectrum, you need to put new membrane in it, you need to recap it, you need to service it, you don't know what's wrong with it. So I don't believe in paying top dollar. So I recently got a Spectrum bundle off of eBay. I went all the way to near Eastbourne to pick it up. So I've been, you might notice I put a recent video up with my mate on the Amiga lads. Where we done the unboxing of the bits and pieces, loads of games in it. Got a +2 grey, the computer that put me off computers.
Yeah.
I've got the rubber key. I also got the Datil plus the disk drive with it, which was made by what is it, M Mills Gordon Technology, which is the same people that do the Sam Coope. But it's quite a rare add-on, as they say, from what I believe.
Right.
We tested that out. We actually got it to work, which is quite amazing, really. Basically, it's like an action replay in a way. So you load the game up, you press the button, you freeze the state, and then basically you press the key. It saves the state to disk, and then you basically exit out, reload your Spectrum up, load the operating system from the disk, and then you load that snap file from the disk, and then it loads in about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But the problem is with some games, obviously there's like copy protection, but some Spectrum games there isn't. So been working on that. I've done bits and pieces for people around work where I've like had an Amiga 500 plus. Not great electronics, but I get by. So he had battery damage on that, so I took all that apart, fixed the rack, the things on that. When I was at Pinewood, I also got one of the people working on the films as well. Just generally chatting at the counter, said, "Oh, I just wanted an arcade like that." So he come in and he goes, "Oh, I've got an arcade. I bought it like a while ago. Had a party. That was it. You can have it if you want it." It's like, all right. So we took the van down there. We picked it up, as you do. It was in a terrible state because they were a little bit drunk and they had no back on it, so they were playing around in the back. So I had to basically rewire it a little bit. Got the back panel made back up, and it was Golden T97. So cleaned it all up, got the mech working, got the game working. Then the monitor packed up, so I had to get that sent away, got that working, eventually got that back, so that's working. Then I started on that. Then I had another gentleman that worked on one of the films, and he said, I would like to get an arcade for my like room. I was like, all right, well, I found one. It was a Smash TV one. Right, so he bought the cabinet. It didn't have anything in it apart from the screen. It had all the logos. Didn't have even the original, like the top on it.
That's a big machine, if I remember right.
What's that?
That's a big machine.
Very big machine.
Yeah.
So got that back. He brought that back in. I was like, all right. So I'm having to hide it around the back, which is great. So I was working on it in lunch hours, in the mornings, bits and pieces. Found the original board. Got him to buy the original board with the manual as well. We put that in. Didn't have the mech in it either, so I had to do that. They'd cut out all the looms, had to resolder all the loom back together and put all the little connectors in it. Got that back up and running. So done that. Got all the top remade to put the original joysticks in, bits and pieces. And he was like, that's now at his place now, and he's playing that. We done it in work at one stage where we had it so that we had it at the front, so when you walk into the stores, people could play it. But what we were doing, we were using, you put like in a 50p, and we were donating that to charity.
Oh, that's a good way. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So in a roundabout way, it was like we were testing it, but at the same time, the money was going to charity, so we donated that to charity. So yeah, we got some weird and wonderful things at work. We've got a record player that we love and adore that I found from one of my mates that done the house clearance. We got a reel-to-reel that's working as well. We got a 8-track cassette player, mini disc that we play every day. So we got all that going every day. So we choose which bits and pieces. We've also got a room around the back that we've got our own record room, because there's only 3 of us that work there now. So we have basically between us all, we look after the equipment, we service the equipment, because you know, as things are old, they need either lubricating, taking apart. So yeah, we've got that. As I say, we've got a massive record room around the back, which people think we bring the records in every day or the reels to reels. We don't. They're all stashed around the back. So we've got a great collection there. I've also got in like the tea room, I've got like a my RetroPie little Mega Drive that I sometimes watch films on, like YouTube channel bits and pieces I've downloaded and put them onto the hard drive.
Yeah.
I've got a Dreamcast around the back as well. I've got Vectrix that like I play occasionally. So yeah, I've got that. So yeah, I've got a few things stashed. The problem is at the moment, because I live with my parents and I'm waiting to move out and to do my place up, I've got a lot in storage. So me and my mate, when he moved out, he basically went into a small house, then he's gone into a bigger house. So he didn't realise what he's got.
Yeah.
So it's quite amazing what he's got, and from what he's, over the years, what he's seen. And he keeps going to me, I can't wait until we open your storage unit up and see what you've got.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I've got a vague idea of what I've got. But if you said to me, oh, look, here you go. There's a screwdriver that was used on the first Spectrum, right?
Yeah.
I might already have one. I don't know. That's the problem. I've got, talking about stuff I've got, I know I've got, the Atari 2600.
Yeah.
I've got a cartridge thing that you plug into it that then you can put 10 cartridges in it. I think it is 10 or 12 cartridges. So basically you switch off your cartridge, you press your number, and then you switch your console on. It's to save. I know it's a gimmick, but to save on cartridge wear and bits and pieces like that.
Okay.
It's quite unique.
Yeah.
I've got one of those somewhere. I couldn't tell you where it is, but I've got one.
You got one.
I've got Atari 2600. I've got a crisp box full of the cartridges somewhere. I don't know where they are, but I've got them.
Yeah.
I've got all my magazines from when I was a kid. So I've got a few things, bits and pieces. Recently, I got given 2 Mega Drives at work as well. Someone's come in, that came off one of the films. So I can't tell you what it is, but it came off one of the films.
Yeah.
One of the Mega Drives has been used and been cut out, so it's got no circuit board in it, but it's been displayed as a working thing, but not as you would see it.
Yeah.
And then another full Mega Drive. I've been given C64s. I've been given Sega Saturns. People just come in and they go, oh, you're into it. We've seen you fix things. I fix bits and pieces for other people. I fix the the guy that does all my printing for the t-shirts and bits and pieces. He had I bought a press thing, I think it was. And he said to me, oh, I got it really cheap. They don't make them anymore. I was like, and he goes, it's not working. I said, oh, give us it here. I'll have a look. I don't promise anything. I just dabble.
Yeah.
I don't understand electronics. I dabble, as they say. I recapped it. He took it home. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I can't believe it works. I was like, well, I had no idea, but I didn't know exactly what it was. It's a good guess.
Yeah.
So, as I say, I dabble. I keep
electronics karma.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant, mate! Brilliant. Okay, just to finish off, we'll do a quick fire round. Just five little questions. Just to finish the podcast off. So, what's your favourite beer?
I don't drink.
Fair enough. Tea or coffee then, or was it just tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. Right. Okay, we'll go with that.
Can't stand tea.
Oh, okay. That's not a tea drinker. Favorite film?
I don't really know, to be fair. I would say I'm not really a film buff. That's my problem. I know where I work. I know what you're going to say. I'm probably into Ghostbusters, Pixels, the 8-Bit Christmas, bits and pieces like that.
Okay.
Sonic the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
nice.
that's my era, I suppose.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Favorite TV series?
As I say, I'm more into that because when I started, I wasn't allowed to hire videos when I was a kid, so I had to watch everything off TV. So it'd be stuff like Steptoe Son.
Classic.
Hours.
Yeah.
Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah.
Terry and June. 40 Towers.
George and Mildred.
George and Mildred, yes. Love Thy Neighbour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all that era, basically.
All absolute classics. I miss watching all those. We've got nothing like that anymore. Yeah, fantastic.
Because I recently met David Jason as well. Because I was doing. There's a gentleman that basically I've done a few things round his house and bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, because he runs a company called Fabulous Films."
Right.
And
Okay.
you might have seen it. He does like restoration of like bits and pieces for DVDs, TV shows, stuff I'm into basically.
Hmm.
And he said, "Oh, we're doing a bits and pieces. We're doing something for like our DVDs." He said, "Would you like to meet him?" I was like, "Yep, definitely. Sign me up. I'm up for that." So I met him. Very nice guy, lovely. For some strange reason, he kept calling me Dave. I don't know why.
Dave. Brilliant.
But yeah, as I say, very lovely guy. I did think it was a joke at first. And I asked him, "Why do you call me Dave like you do in Only Fools and Horses? My name's not Dave, it's Steve. Why'd you call me that?" And he goes, "I didn't know it was Steve." Okay. And then he called me Dave again. So maybe it was a running joke. I don't know. But,
I was going to
you
say,
know,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, because it was a trigger, wasn't it? Calling Rodney Dave.
yeah. So it could have been that.
Brilliant.
I honestly don't know. But as I say, I've met a few people at work. But yeah, that's my era. It's more TV. I know bits and pieces like the Carry On films, which I love as well. That's done down like the corridor that I walk down every day.
Yeah.
Normal Wisdom, that's the Canteen, that's Grimsdale's Dairies.
Oh wow. Yeah. All classic British stuff. Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Really
got
good.
it's got so much history. That's the thing, and that's that. I'm probably stuck in the past. That's my problem. I'm not that old, as they
Yeah,
say.
but what have you got now? I mean, yeah, that's good memories. I mean, I
Mm,
like some oh, what they called. I mean, Lauren Hardy and
yeah,
Harold Lloyd, Marx Brothers, absolute genius. I love the Marx Brothers. Um, I mean, Day at the Races and Duck Soup is probably two of my favourite comedies of all time. Absolutely love them films. So
yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. See, I also remember when I went for my interview at Pinewood.
Mm.
And it was with the lady that's no longer there because she retired. I think it was 2 years after I'd finished, like started. Always remembering the thingy because you said like as you do, because film studio, you expect basically I'm into films
Yeah.
as you do,
Mm.
right? And she said I watch like films, and it's like Normal Wisdom, bits and pieces. And I always remember her saying, "Oh yeah, I remember him coming into the office like this." Because it used to be when I first started, it used to be like a screw fix. You used to come into the counter and you would order the bits and pieces, and we'd run around, climb in all the racks, get the bits and pieces, and then we'd give it to you and write it down on a little bit of chitty.
Yeah.
It's not like that now. It's like an open plan. So you get like, you can get ice cream, pizzas, God knows what. As I say, it's not Jutons. It's very unique. You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. Wow.
Right, so I remember her coming in and I go, "Oh yeah, I love Normal Wisdom." She goes, "Oh yeah, he came into the office once. He's mucking around. He jumped onto the desk whilst I was working on, and he was like giving all the quotes and bits and pieces." I was like, "Oh, I'd love to see that."
Yeah.
And then also I used to go, me and my other half, 'cause she used to work for Pinewood as well, but she's been made redundant about 3 years ago now. So we used to go in the canteen for lunch together.
Mm.
And I used to sit with Valerie James, which is Sid James's wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she used to,
Wow.
she once bought us like a Kit Kat, talking to us, saying about how he was and bits and pieces. So yeah, that's my era. That's what I love, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Absolute class. Okay. And the last question: what's your favourite music artist or band?
I don't know. I like Oasis, Jamiroquai.
Okay.
I used to, when I first went clubbing, obviously you asked me whether I drink. I don't.
Mm.
So when I first got my car, the first club I went to was Hammersmith Palais. So I used to go down there. I dragged my mates down there as well. We all went together because it was basically one of my mates went to the Ministry of Sound. That was for his birthday. That Saturday, then we went out as our first time with my mate Adam as well, to the Hammersmith Palace. So that was our first club. So I used to go down there basically on the Friday. You just wait to the end of the night. You get a free ticket for the Saturday. Wait to Saturday end of the night and you get a free ticket for the following week. So I used to go clubbing on my own as well. So I used to queue up.
Yeah.
So you queue up, go down there because sometimes my mates didn't want to go. So I was like, right, I drive down there because I'm teetotal. So I drive up, park the car up. Because I believe Acorn, there was an Acorn computer place that right near Hammersmith Palais, I think. Top
Was
of my
that?
head.
Okay.
So I used to park near there, used to walk down, used to chat, and I'd be like, right, okay. And then people would go to, oh, you're meeting your mates down there? No. I was like, go clubbing on your own. Why don't you go clubbing on your own? Oh no, I would never do that. That's not right. I was like, no, club the night away, go in, get your water, get a couple of bottles of water down you, and then just keep going. So I used to go clubbing probably about 5 nights a week when I first started work. So
Wow.
I'd be,
Okay.
yeah. So
That's a workout for you.
Yeah, so I used to go 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So I used to work for Sun Electric Contracting back then because I'm a lecky by trade.
Okay. Yeah.
So I used to go clubbing then all the night through, and it'd be like, well, that's really good. But it used to be a killer in the mains because it'd be like, if you're not awake, you soon wake up.
And get a different haircut.
Yeah, slightly. So any type of music of the 90s, I would say.
Brilliant.
I used to like when I used to drive as well. I used to like. I know it sounds stupid. I used to one of our mates used to have a Polo as well. We used to pull up at the lights together, and we sort of used to dance at the same time at the wheel.
Mm.
So you'd be like, dancing and bits and pieces. So it was like that's my era. It's something you can like get the beat to, bits and pieces. I know it's slightly different now. It's more the music. I'm not saying music isn't good these days. It is very good, but it feels like it's not got a beat, so you can't really dance to it as such. Like when the 90s and the 80s and say the 70s, they've got a fair good beat to it, so you can time it. Because if you count to 1 to 4, that's how like the DJ will mix the next one in. So you've got a beat, so they marry up the tempo against the next record, and that's how, then once they've got the right tempo against each other, that's how they mix the two together, and they fade it in or they put the beats together. That's their little tricks. If you count it, you can actually technically dance to it, but nowadays it's not so easy.
Either that or we're just getting old, mate. That's
you could say that.
Yeah. Oh, Steve, it's been great having you on. Thanks for doing the podcast with me, and I hope you have a good turnout at Retcon this year. I'll certainly be there. I'll bring in Wayne with me, so that's 2 more people for you in the room.
But I believe you're bringing the console as well. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. If I can, yeah, it'll be. Yeah. I'm going to bring a Spectrum Engo, so Spectrum Next clone.
Yep.
And I'm involved in a game called TX 1696 with Patricia Curtis and Richard Faulkner. So I'll bring. I think you got to play the one of the demos at Crash. I think maybe if I remember right. Yeah, you sat down and had a quick go.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're hoping that the full game will be released by then. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, it sounds good.
So I'll bring that with me, and I'll discuss it in a little bit more detail with yourself what I need to bring it and whatever. But that'd be really good. Fine. Yeah. But yeah, again, it's been wonderful having you on, and I shall speak to you soon.
Yeah, speak to you soon.
See you later.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
No problem. See you later.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.